What's going on everyone, welcome to a new video, I hope you're all good. In this one we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Usually I'm showcasing the best battles that I've had running some spicy Pokemon. But in this video we're all going to have a laugh together at the absolutely terrible run I went on trying to use Shadow Pinsir in the Premier Cup. So we're just powering this thing up and then we've got to unlock the second charge move and... oh, crap. Sorry about that, I've got enough Stardust now, so I'm going to unlock that second charge move, and then we've just got to TM the fast move to get Fury Cutter, and then we've just got to TM that charge move to get X-Scissor on that, so... what? Oh, I can't believe how long it took to get a charge TM. So let's TM this. If it goes to Vice Grip, I'm going to discard you, Pinsir. Oh my god, you're so lucky. You got away with one this time, you little... Anyway, let's get into the battles because they're barely even worth it. So not only was this team a stupid idea, having two things weak to fire in a meta dominated by fire types at the minute, we also encountered so much lag. It was incredible. Some different types of lag and some weird glitches as well. We're going to analyse all of it in each of the battles, and it's nearly one per battle, to be honest. So anyway, rolling on into commentary, we've got the Trevenant versus Obstagoon, which is obviously not a great matchup for us. At least we're going to be able to hit them for some neutral damage with the seed bombs. And it does look like they're over farming quite a bit, so we're actually able to get up to that third seed bomb. But we're actually going to undercharge this because we want to then actually farm them down. Looks like we did CMP tie as well, so that was absolutely perfect. So probably going to come in now with the Pinsir and then just Fury Cutter them down all the way. And we should be able to tank a Night Slash quite comfortably. Shadow Pinsir is incredibly squishy, even in the Ultra League, and my opponent actually goes for a cross chop, so that's really interesting. Not knowing the typings there, I assume he definitely must have Night Slash. So then we made a quick swap into the Charizard, as we knew they were going to bring back in Nidoqueen, and they came in with the Whirlrain. So now we're just going to shield this Icicle Spear up, and then we're just going to bait them with a Dragon Claw. They've still got two shields and we've only got one, so we're looking in a really sticky spot here. Now we do actually obviously have that Pinsir in the back that's got loaded energy, and it does have a close combat ready to go, which would one-shot the Whirlrain. So we're just going to try and get that second shield out of them and probably look to make a swap into the Pinsir. Now we know the switch time is almost up, so we go for the Dragon Claw bait, hoping to get the shield and stall out the timer quick enough to swap into the Pinsir. We did hit it, but unfortunately they got off their energy. Can we survive this? We do survive it, and then we make a quick swap into Pinsir. The game lags out horrendously, and all of a sudden a Nidoqueen appears in front of us to throw a not very effective close combat and lose us the game. And I have no idea whether it was the lag that caused that there, but we're going to have a look at it again in a sec. But obviously I'm going to back out of this one, as it's done. The Charizard is dead. So yeah, look, we hit the close combat, nothing happens, little spinny wheel of death, and suddenly the Nidoqueen comes in. So it might not have been the lag that cost me the game, they may have made that swap anyway, but we will never know, and it was highly frustrating for that to happen at the crucial time. So into the next one, and Pharos on the lead, so this isn't actually too bad, we should actually outpace them to the X-Scissors, but they'll be doing a lot more damage to us as we are Shadow. So we threw an X-Scissor and they didn't shield it up, which is fine. We're going to shield up the Thunder Punch as it will do a lot of damage. And now we're over farming too much and we're actually letting them get off another Thunder Punch. And we do double shield because it will get us so low. And then they quickly make a swap into the Whirlrain, which is fine because we're able to bait them here with an X-Scissor and hopefully get off the close combat. But look what happens. We CMP tie, but I was counting the Powder Snows as they came in to make sure that we could get it off. But they somehow got to a move at the same time. So let's see it. They come in, one Powder Snow, 2, 3, 4, and we hit the move, and somehow they've got to an Icicle Spear in 4 Powder Snows, and there was no way of them sneaking in a move or anything, because that was the first time they'd even come in, so it made no sense at all. Into the next battle, the worst lead possible, Charizard for the Pinsir. So the Pinsir's like, what are you doing to me? And to be honest, most teams had Charizard that we faced with the Shadow Pinsir, so how about that? So we made a swap into the Trevenant, and in came Obstagoon, so we know that we can tank one Night Slash, and we will be able to threaten them if we're able to get up to the 3 seed bombs. Not 3, I think it's 4 actually need to take them out, because obviously the Shadow Claw damage is not doing anything as it is completely immune to Ghost being the normal and dark type. So they're taking us out, and then we're going to bring in the Pinsir just to farm them down with Fury Cutter. And now they're going to throw a Night Slash, which we should be able to tank, but they are still doing a lot of damage to us. Look, we're already into the yellow, even though counters are resisted. This thing is made out of paper. So they bring back in the Charizard, and we go for a close combat, which is a bit of a waste of energy, to be honest, but we will be doing some chip damage to them, but they actually throw up a shield, so that's actually perfect. And now we make a swap into our own Charizard, and they made a swap out into Snorlax, so there is a glimmer of light for us to be able to switch this around. We just need to use these shields correctly. We do shield up, and then we're going to go for a Blast Burn here, and we hit the Blast Burn, and absolutely nothing happens within, it looks like 2 turns. So now we're forced to use a shield, which is absolutely terrible. We're going to go for the blast burn, and we're going to undercharge it here because we need that extra farm. So we do undercharge perfectly. We maybe could have done it by a nice, I'm not sure, but anyway, we're going to go for a Dragon Claw bait here, hoping that they shield this up, and then we're going to be able to get off a blast burn. But we're really worried that they're going to get to a move in time, and they are, and that is definitely going to seal our fate if it is a Dragon Claw. Oh no, I thought we might be able to survive it, but no, we're not. If we could have got off that chip damage, actually, if we'd have gone for a Dragon Claw and not the blast burn, and then this close combat, we would have actually been able to take them out, I think. So we should have actually gone for that. But once again, some lag at the crucial moment. So let's see this again. This is a bit less debatable than the others, because maybe it was just the turns, but I did hit that blast burn a couple of times before I even threw the next fire spin. But for some reason, we just ended up throwing another fire spin when I wanted to hit the charge move. Into the next one, and we've got the Wild Rain on the lead. So this isn't terrible for Pinsir, as we can survive 1 Icicle Spear, and obviously we're threatening them with the close combat. So we want to throw an X-Scissor bait, but we're over farming way too much, and now we're forced to commit our second shield. But we didn't actually need to commit this shield at all, because we would have survived an Icicle Spear, and then we could have just got off back-to-back moves anyway and got both the shields out of them or taken them out. So that was a bad play by me. We do go for 1 X-Scissor bait, and they do shield it up. So we're going to go for a second one, and they need to shield this up, otherwise we're going to be screwed. So they do shield it up, and then we make a swap into Charizard just to store that energy on the Pinsir. So that's really debatable what I did there, but I think they would have taken us out by the time we got to the close combat, so that's why I did it. So we come in with the Charizard, and they are able to get to 2 Icicle Spears. We're able to farm up a little bit extra, and we go for a Dragon Claw, and then they actually made an invisible swap into, you know what, another Charizard. What a surprise. So they take us out with a fire spin. And now we're going to come in with Trevenant, and we're looking in a terrible spot here. We're probably going to be able to get to a move. We get to the Shadow Ball, but they're able just to get to the Blast Burn before we do. Instead of taking us out, we come with the Pinsir, and I mean, what are we going to do here? I didn't even bother throwing energy. We just like submitted, so that was fine. Absolutely shocking battle, and we deserve to die there. So into the next one. It's a Charizard again. Wouldn't you know it? Just Charizard everywhere. I'm sure if I start using Swampert, there won't be Charizard everywhere. Guess what? That's what I start doing a little bit later on. Anyway, so this is a Dragon Breath version of the Charizard as well, so they decided to stay in, which isn't good for us, as it tells me they've probably got someone else in the back that can handle the Pinsir. But luckily we are able to get them down pretty low anyway, so we're just going to let this go down, and then we're just going to farm this down with either of the weak to fire types. Probably the Pinsir, I imagine. It is the Pinsir that we're going to use. Now, I was thinking at this point they've actually not got enough energy for the Blast Burn again, but we shield it up just in case, as we didn't want to get one-shotted. And now they bring in a Gallade, so very, very interesting. We go for the X-Scissor, which will be doing some decent damage against the squishy Gallade. So they do actually let it go through, which is quite surprising, and now they're going to throw a move. And if you could see there, I was actually hitting the switch button to catch a Leaf Blade on the Trevenant, but once again, the game just did not want to let me do it. And even then, I was trying to do it again, and it took so long for the game to finally register and switch me out. And we do catch the Leaf Blade, which is fine. And then they've got a Scavalier in the back, and we've used both our shields. And this isn't looking good at all. But if we'd have made that catch into the Trevenant, we wouldn't have had to use our last shield on the Pinsir. So this stupid game being so laggy every single battle, what do you expect me to do? So they destroy us with a Mega Horn. We come back in with loaded energy, but it didn't matter. Anyway, we were always going to go down, and they counter us down. Pinsir, you're pathetic, and so am I for these terrible battles. All you can do is laugh at this game sometimes. So into the next one, we had a Gengar on the lead for the Pinsir. So that's not very good for us as the bug moves are being resisted. So we made a swap out into the Charizard. And then we farmed up a bit. They hit us with a Shadow Punch, and we went for the Dragon Claw. They made a nice swap out into the Wild Rain. And now, obviously, this isn't looking great either. So we're just going to end up going for the Blast Burn here after we shield it up. And more than likely, they're going to shield this up now. See, the thing is, I made this team without really thinking about it too much. And unfortunately, we're just so weak to Wild Rain and to Fire types, which is just everything you're seeing in the meta at the minute. So they did actually let the Blast Burn go through, which was absolutely brilliant for us. And now we've come in with the Pinsir, and we're able to actually Fury Cutter them down the whole way. We knew the Gengar was coming back in, so we made an instant swap into the Trevenant, just hoping that we can Shadow Claw them down. But I think they are actually going to get to another Shadow Punch, but we should just be able to survive it and hopefully have some energy store for whatever they bring in. So they go for the Shadow Punch now, and it does a load of damage, and it is a Scavalier again. So what is it with the Scavaliers in the back? We go for the Seed Bomb bait, and if they don't shield this up, then it's game over. They do take the bait, so that's absolutely perfect. And now we're just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. I think that we've got a close combat stored on the Pinsir, so if they let this go through, it's going to be going down, and they do let it go through. And now we just got that Pinsir against the Gengar. Can we Fury Cutter them down? And there it is, 10 minutes into the video, our first win. So this is just some more lag that happened earlier on in the game. It wasn't that crazy, but they got in about 4 Powder Snows to the 1 Fire Spin there. So some pretty terrible lag once again. So into the next battle, we've got Trevenant on the lead. So this is a really interesting one. So we can actually do a lot of damage to them, but we need to call whether they baited us. So they go for Shadow Ball, and we let it go straight through. I'm sorry, Pinsir. And then they swap into Wing Attack Charizard, so it's game over, and we back out of that one as well. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I did not mean to give you so much pain. I won't use it again, don't worry. Straight to the next one, Wild Rain on the lead, so we've seen this one already. We can do alright against it, but it's just, this thing is just so spammy, and it's just going to be doing so much damage to us where we're just so pathetically frail. So we go for that bait, and they do take the bait. So as this is the Shadow version, I think we actually do have to shield this up, because it will be near enough taking us out. They swap into Charizard, and we're absolutely screwed, because once again, it's a Wing Attack Charizard, and our Charizard, the IVs on it are terrible, and I'm not using an Elite TM to get Wing Attack on it. I do actually have some better ones, but as you saw from the intro, I'm an absolute pauper for Stardust at the minute, so I don't have the Stardust to build another Pokemon. At the current time, we're going to have to build something fresh for Master League, so I'm building up Stardust as we speak. So they're taking us out, and now we're looking in an absolutely awful spot. Both our things are going to get destroyed by Charizard. They're surely going to have a little bit of energy and beat us to the Blast Burn before we get to a Shadow Ball, but they throw their energy really early, makes me think they're just throwing a Dragon Claw, so now we actually do have some hope. So we're building up some extra energy, we hit the charge move, tons of lag, what a surprise, and then they get off their bloody charge move. What are you on about, game? Honestly, it's pathetic. So we rage quit once again, and that's a definite rage quit. So let's have a look. We hit the Shadow Ball, it pulses there, clearly pulses, then the Spinny Wheel of Death, of course it does, and then they get through another Wing Attack, and then they get off their energy. So how does that make any sense at all? We didn't even CMP tire. This game is just a pile of shit. So into the next one. Sorry for the aggressiveness, but I just get so passionate about these things. Anyway, so into the next one, we've now got a different team. We've tried something else out. We've put Goodra in the lead, something that's good against fire types, and then we've got the Muck Shadow as well, which has also got the Thunder Punch, good against Charizard, which we're probably not going to see at all now because we've seen it in every single bloody game beforehand. So anyway, in comes the Empoleon, and we go for Thunder Punch, does quite a lot of damage. We was able to farm down the Sylveon the whole way at the expense of a shield, and now we're going to get off this second Thunder Punch, and they do commit another shield, not another shield, their first shield, so we get to a third Thunder Punch. So the Muck is putting in the absolute work here. We're making an instant swap into the Goodra, and I suspected it was actually a double charm team. So now we're looking absolutely screwed because Pinsir is not going to be able to do anything against the Togekiss. So we're going to try and get up to another Muddy Water and hopefully debuff them, and we don't get to it. So we're looking absolutely f***ed, ain't we? So we're going to come in with a Pinsir, and we're going to do absolute f***ing nothing because it's a pile of Sorry about that. I morphed into my Cockney twin. As a shout out to all my West Ham friends there. You mugs. Anyway, so we're going to get to an Exeter here, which is going to do absolutely nothing. It's double resisted, so absolutely nothing. Doesn't matter if they shield it up. They did shield it up, which is good. We could go for a close combat, but guess what? It's double resisted, so no point. We've not got enough energy on the mark, so we're absolutely screwed, and we rage quit another game. Into the next one. Now we've got Goodra against Swampert, so that's actually a good lead. Is that like the first good lead of the entire video? So we're building up to the Power Whip, and we're going to go for a Muddy Water bait. And of course they don't shield it. I mean, that would have one-shot them surely. So really good call by my opponent. They go for the Ice Punch. It's not doing a lot of damage to us. Goodra is pretty thick. I've not used Goodra too much since I built it. Unfortunately, the moveset's not the best. You do have the option for the nuke of Draco Meteor on there. I've not tried it out yet. Maybe I should give that a go. But anyway, we have got the Muck now against the Poliwrath, which is a pretty decent matchup. They're only going to be able to go for Ice Punches. So we're trying to farm up as much energy as we can. We are being a bit overconfident and we farm up too much. So we're going to have to shield up one Ice Punch. But at least we can farm them down the whole way. Now we're loaded on energy. They come in with the Swampert. So we're going to go for a Dark Pulse, which will be doing a lot of damage against the Swampert. Not quite putting them into the half health. Where we're not getting stabbed from it, it's not doing as much damage as it could be doing if it was the same typing. So we are able to get off another Dark Pulse, and they don't actually shield it up, so that's crazy. So we come in with the Goodra and we farm them down, and then I've got Wow Rain in the back. So Looking like we could actually make this work here. We might be able to pull off a win, so that would be nice. So we go for the Muddy Water bait, and this time they do shield it up, so that's really good, makes up for the earlier one. And now we're going to get to that Power Whip, and we're going to go for it. Are they going to shield this up this time? It's going to do a lot of damage. If not, look at that, it does tons of damage to the tanky Whale Rain. And we're coming with a Pinsir, and we're actually able to win without even using Pinsir, so we're just going to take the 2 Icicle Spears. At least it's going to be able to do something. It's like, look at me, man. I'm a thick boy. I can take these Icicle Spears, no problem. So it's going down, and we're going to the next one against Yo Mama Yanmar, one of the best names I've seen in a while. So thank you for that, bro. And it is a Gallade, so it's actually a pretty decent lead. We're resisting the Leaf Blade, but obviously we've got to watch out for that close combat. But we are able to dig into them with the Dragon Breath. We just go for the Muddy Water, trying to get that debuff there, which we don't get. Muddy Water is such a bad move. If this had a better move than Muddy Water, a better bait move, it would actually be really, really good. But unfortunately, that's what we're working with. So they do get to a Leaf Blade, and we do let it go through, which is fine. And now we're going to be able to farm them down and see what comes in. So it is the Whale Rain that comes in. We're going to go for that Power Whip straight away. We're not even going to bother with the bait in, and they do shield it up, so it's fine. And then we make a quick swap into Pinsir because we didn't want them to be able to farm us down. But obviously this is going to do a lot of damage, and I made a call to shield this up, and in the moment I knew that that was the wrong call. So in comes the Charizard, and then we go for an X-Scissor, and I think this is because we're just trying to stall out the switch timer. Should have just gone close combat anyway, but we knew we'd already lost the battle. Shielded up was an absolutely terrible call. We knew they were going to be able to farm us down the whole way and then throw a Blast Burn against the Muck, so we was absolutely screwed there. Anyways, into the next one, now we're using Shadow Swampert on the lead. So we're chopping and changing quite a bit in this video, just seeing what we can muck about with, to be honest. We're just having a bit of fun, and it didn't go particularly well. So we are able to outpace the Gallade to the Hydro Cannons, and a Hydro Cannon will be doing so much damage to them as they are quite squishy. They do make a swap out into a Scavalier, which is absolutely fine with us. We're just going to now threaten them with the Hydro Cannons. So they're letting the first one go through, so we're just going to go straight for the back-to-back and try and get that last shield out of them. And they do shield it up, so now we're going to come in with the Pinsir. Now, at the time, I couldn't remember whether Bug was resisted by Bug, which I don't think it is, but it didn't matter anyway because they had Aerial Ace. So they go for that straight away, absolutely putting a spanner in my plan. I thought maybe we could get a move off and take them out before they could get to anything, but they had the Aerial Ace anyway. So in comes the Gallade, and they're able to Confusion us down before we can get to a next Scissor. So absolutely terrible. Now we don't know what to do because obviously we're in a bad spot. We need to bring in the Muck against the Gallade, but it's going to do so much damage to us with the confusions. Luckily, we are able to get to that Thunder Punch before they're able to get to another move. And now, should we make that swap out? And we don't make the swap out into Swampert, and that is going to cost us there. They bring in a low and Muck, and we're just going for the Thunder Punches against them. But we've given them that opportunity now to overfarm like crazy, and you can see they're doing it. They've already built up to 2 moves because they know we're not going to be able to threaten them with any of our moves. We get them down quite low, but they're just going to take us out with 1 move and then take out the Swampert. So we could have actually won that there if we'd have just instantly swapped into the Swampert when the Alolan Muck came in. But unfortunately, you can't predict everything, and we was just too slow to react. Even if we'd have done it a turn too slow, we would have actually outpaced them to the Hydro Cannon and been able to take the win. So unfortunate there. Into the next one, we had the worst lead. We had Trevenant, so we made an instant swap into the Alolan Muck. Not Alolan Muck, sorry, the Shadow Muck. And then in came Charizard, so that's absolutely fine with us because we're going to be able to threaten them with the Thunder Punches, and also the Poison Jab's going to do a lot of neutral damage. So they go for a Dragon Claw bait, and we do actually call it, so that's perfect. And now we're going to be able to get up to the second Thunder Punch, hoping that they let this go through, and they do actually commit their second shield, so that's crazy. And now we're just going to look to get up to another Thunder Punch. They do throw their energy just before we get there, so we're actually going to commit a shield, and unfortunately they do actually have 2 moves stored, so we're just going to have to commit that second shield now, and then we're just going to go for the Thunder Punch to take them out. But they make a really good swap into the Trevenant, and that probably is going to cost us it. Oh, it's not actually the Trevenant, it's the Blaziken, but yeah, that's not looking good for us at all. We're going to come in with the Swampert, we're counting up the moves, throw energy just before they get to a potential Brave Bird, and now we're going to be absolutely screwed because we've obviously got that Trevenant there. We're not going to be able to get up to a Sludge Bomb even before they can do anything, and then we've just got the Pinsir, so we are not looking in a good spot at all. If we hadn't have used that energy against the Blaziken there, then we would have actually been in an okay spot because we would have been able to do some damage with the Muck against either the Trevenant or the Charizard, which is quite low now, I think. So we're coming in with the Pinsir, we're going to get off an X-Scissor, and then we're going to make a swap into the Muck. They come in with the Charizard, and we're not able to get to the Thunder Punch, but that's kind of what we want. We want to be able to farm them down, but we're not going to be able to make it. So once again, we're losing in a terrible way. We maybe could have gone for... No, we needed back-to-back moves there, or we needed to actually farm them down to get off against the Trevenant, so it was in a terrible spot. Once again, we're losing the battle. And when I made this channel, I knew that I wasn't just going to come on here and make nothing but content where I'm smashing it all the time, as that's not what happens in Pokemon Go. There's big highs and a lot of big lows. So I wanted to make the most balanced content I can. So when I'm putting together a showcase and I have a terrible time like this, I'm going to actually put it out on the internet for you guys to see, even if I do make some terrible plays in it. So back into the battle, we had the Poliwrath, and they hit us with a dynamic punch and shielded up our Sludge Wave, and then we made a swap to catch the Ice Punch on our Shadow Muck. So let's see what they bring in, and it is a Typhlosion, so not the best. We should be able to threaten them with the Thunder Punches, so we're going to shield this up and try and get up to 2. But obviously this isn't looking great for us with the Pinsir in the back there, and they did actually sneak through an Incinerate, so that's absolutely terrible for us. They don't shield up the Thunder Punch, which is surprising. And now they're going to get off this Blast Burn and take us out. But at least we will be able to farm them down with the Swampert, I hope. Should just be able to get there. We do actually already have a lot of energy stored. So let's see what they come in with. They may bring in the Poliwrath, but it's actually a Snorlax. And we actually went straight for the Sludge Wave thinking that the Poliwrath was coming back in. So that's not great for us at all. It pretty much would have done the same amount of damage, I think. So we go for the Hydro Cannon now, which will be pressuring that last shield, and we make a swap into the Pinsir. And now we're getting up to a next Scissor, and again, that's not a good call. We should have over-farmed there, I think, because we're resisting Superpower. We're trying to take them out before they can actually get to a move, but they just survive with 1 HP and get off the Body Slam, which is terrible for us. Now we need to get up to that close combat, and they know that, and they're going to be able to take us out before we can get there. So once again, very poor play, and now we're energy dry on the Swampert after we used that Sludge Wave when we should have just gone for the double Hydro Cannon. And let's see how much damage this does. Yes, I think if we actually had enough energy for another Hydro Cannon, we could have won that one as well. So some serious misplays once again. Lag and misplays has been the name of the game in this video. So into the next battle, and I think this is actually the last one of the video, thank God. So it's actually a Shadow Machamp on the lead, which is a decent matchup for the Swampert. We're going to be able to outpace them, and 1 Hydro Cannon will get them very, very low. So we're going for the Hydro Cannon, and they shield it up after we shielded up the Cross Chop, and then we make a really nice swap into the Shadow Muck to absorb this Cross Chop, which will be resisted as we are poison typing, and they are staying in, which is really interesting. And they do actually make a swap into Nidoqueen trying to catch, and I couldn't tell if we actually did hit the Thunder Punch there. There might have actually been a charge move refund. Sometimes you get a little bit of luck where it doesn't actually go through with the charge move after you hit it. So either way, it didn't really matter because we're in a really terrible spot. They hit us with a Stone Edge, and we did do half health with a Dark Pulse. We let it go through. Now we're going to be able to come in with the Swampert, farm up some extra energy, and then take out the Nidoqueen, but we do still have that Machamp with loaded energy in the back for them, so expecting that to come back in. And what we should have done is made a swap out into the Pinsir to catch this, because I did have a suspicion they were going to throw it straight away. We do actually shield up the Cross Chop, and then we swap out into Pinsir, and they've got Crobat in the back. So what a way to sum up the video. Absolutely destroyed by that end Pokemon, and another bad decision by me. So just finishing with one positive note, we did get a shiny Regice out of the GBL reward, so that's pretty good. So I really hope you enjoyed this different style of video, and if you did, please give it a like. But until the next one, you stay angry, trainers.